Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, he was one of the biggest and most polarizing voices as Vice President of the United States. A look back at the legacy of Dick Cheney. And the man charged in Crystal Rogers' murder is being moved into a new facility, this one in eastern Kentucky.
Had a little bit of cloud cover earlier today. Otherwise, we had plenty of sunshine. We're going to see the temperatures go up before they crash. Details coming up.
Dedicated to southern and eastern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. The news broke early this morning that former Vice President Dick Cheney has died at 84. In a statement, former President George W. Bush described him as a man who held on to his convictions and who prioritized the freedom and security of the American people. Bush added, quote, "I counted on him for his honest, forthright counsel, and he never failed to give his best." Now, WYMT senior national correspondent Peter Zampa takes a look back at the life of an influential vice president.
Born in Nebraska, but a son of Wyoming, Richard Cheney left a lasting mark on American governance and especially the vice presidency. Cheney worked in the Ford and Nixon administrations before representing Wyoming in Congress for a decade, then becoming Secretary of Defense under George H.W. Bush. In 2000, George W. Bush asked Cheney to form a search committee for Bush's vice president. Cheney finished the job by picking himself and joining the Republican ticket, which eventually won the White House in a contentious election. As vice president, Dick Cheney wielded more power than perhaps anyone else who held the office. He was instrumental in the United States' response to the September 11th attacks. Cheney claimed both behind the scenes and publicly that Iraq had weapons of mass destruction, which was never proven. Cheney also supported enhanced interrogation techniques and domestic intelligence gathering, both of which came under intense public and legal scrutiny. A lifelong hunter, Cheney's aim made news in 2006. During a quail hunt, Vice President Cheney accidentally shot Texas attorney and friend Harry Whittington. Whittington had serious injuries but survived the incident. Cheney was a fierce family man. He broke with his Republican Party on the issue of same-sex marriage, in part due to his openly gay daughter Mary. Dick and older daughter Liz Cheney were among the highest-profile Republican voices to condemn the January 6, 2021 insurrection at the U.S. Capitol. Congresswoman Liz Cheney played a key role in the eventual hearings investigating the events on January 6th. In 2024, Cheney said he would not vote for President Donald Trump, again becoming one of the highest-profile Republicans to break from the party. Cheney had heart problems for decades, starting with a heart attack at age 37 while serving in Congress, and later, which included a heart transplant in 2012. Christian Bale depicted his life in the Oscar-nominated film Vice in 2018.
Governor Andy Beshear ordered flags to be lowered to half-staff in honor of Cheney. In our next half hour, we'll go to Center College, where Cheney took part in a vice presidential debate in 2000. 10 years ago, a Richmond police officer died after being shot in the line of duty. 33-year-old Daniel Ellis was shot while investigating an attempted gas station robbery. He died 2 days later. He was a 7-year veteran of the Richmond Police Force. Tomorrow, the Richmond Police Department is hosting a memorial ceremony. That event is scheduled to begin at 9:30. The U.S. District Court is moving all cases based at the Pikeville Federal Courthouse elsewhere. The order came down Friday. It will send all federal court cases in the Pikeville Division to either London or Ashland. The change could impact federal litigation in Johnson, Magoffin, Martin, Pike, Letcher, Floyd, and Knott counties. The order goes into effect December 31st. Kentucky Secretary of State Michael Adams sent out a message on social media this morning to remind Kentuckians there are no elections today here in the Bluegrass State. Adams said his office was receiving calls about polls being closed. Adams explained, quote, "Kentucky votes next year. You cannot vote today in Kentucky for the mayor of New York City or the governor of Virginia. Sorry." Well, one race we are certainly watching tonight is that one in Virginia. The Commonwealth is about to make history with its first woman governor. Republican Winsome Earl Sears and Democrat Abigail Spanberger are both fighting for the office. Recent polls show Spanberger with a lead on Earl Sears, who is the current lieutenant governor. Coming up at 6, we'll take you to the polls in Wise County, Virginia, just across the Kentucky border, for local reaction about that race. In Washington, a potential agreement to extend Affordable Care Act subsidies appears to be gaining traction. A 4-member bipartisan group of House lawmakers announced an outline for how to potentially extend the subsidies. A potential deal could end the ongoing government shutdown, which is now in day 35, tied for the longest in history. The deal would extend subsidies for 2 years, but also include certain eligibility caps and guardrails. Enrollment is now open for 2026 coverage through Kentucky's Affordable Care Act marketplace, known as Connect, but health advocates say many families are experiencing sticker shock. According to the Kaiser Family Foundation, premiums have risen by about 17%, an average increase of $181 for Kentucky families. The hike comes as Congress remains deadlocked over whether to extend federal health insurance tax credits.
I'm hearing a lot of just really frank, practical conversation about what folks' budgets look like and whether or not they can afford to take that risk to be uninsured. And for most folks, they can't.
Advocates urge families to review their options before automatically re-enrolling and remind them that the deadline to sign up for coverage starting January 1st is December 15th. Plenty of sunshine out there this afternoon with temperatures jumping well into the 60s. Don't get used to it, though. First Alert meteorologist Eric Dean has our first look at the forecast.
Yeah, Steve, don't get used to it because a big change is coming as we go into the weekend. Right now, though, not bad. We're seeing temperatures in the 40s and 50s. This is seen in Breathitt County right now. Look at that temperature, 48 degrees. Feels like 48 out there. We have a light wind out there. All is quiet on First Alert Live pinpoint Doppler radar. This will get a break for your Wednesday, Thursday, and for the most part Friday. So when you get into Friday night, that shower chances will start to pick up. Big ridge of high pressure is in control. You can see right here we're on the back end of it. That's going to keep those temperatures in the upper 60s and low 70s as we go into your Wednesday. Right now, we're seeing temperatures in the 50s, even low 60s. We're at 61 in Hazard, 59 in Jackson, 55 the Double Nichols in Boonville, 64 in Somerset, 64 in Monticello. On the WYMT First Alert Weather app, you'll get your hour-by-hour forecast. We'll have clear skies from top to bottom, making for a beautiful night. Temperatures will be in the 50s by the time 11 o'clock rolls around, but like Steve mentioned, don't get used to it. Details coming up in the First Alert forecast in a few minutes. Steve.
And there's the shot of Hazard. It's not quite that dark yet out there. Eric, thank you. In Rockcastle County, a man is charged with neglecting his mother. According to a criminal complaint, 38-year-old Jeremy Cook said he was the sole caretaker for his mother. She was taken to the hospital after Cook reported she was suffering from shortness of breath. Investigators say the mother was found sitting in a reclining chair that she said she had been in for 2 months. Cook was released on bond yesterday. He is due in court for a preliminary hearing next Wednesday. Brooks Houck is now in custody here in the mountains after he was transferred out of the Oldham County Detention Center. Houck is one of the 3 men convicted in the case of the disappearance and presumed murder of Crystal Rogers. Houck was transferred to the Big Sandy Detention Center in Paintsville. He was sentenced to life in prison earlier this year, and he's currently appealing that conviction. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30. A new museum opened.
And in the world of weather, it's going to be quiet for a couple days, but everything's going to be changing as we go throughout the weekend. Details coming up.